Okay, this video is to show you what your process journal should look like up until this point. So our current unit, remember, is advertising for change. You should have the unit information from the whiteboard over there. It's on that sheet of paper if you didn't already write it for one of the schema activators. Make sure that's in your process journal. You should have 3 or 4 dates by this point because we've had class 3 or 4 times. Remember, you're dating your paper every day, and if you go through more than one paper, make sure you date both of them in any given day. So this is not an actual process journal. It's one I kind of made up to show you. Remember, your teaching message should be on here. Remember, we're using art vocabulary, so it should specifically say teaching message. A lot of you are writing teaching method, and I'm not sure where you got that from, but it's a message. It's the message you're sending to people in your advertisement. So here I have listed a few of the teaching messages. One I started with is everyone is beautiful in their own way. Then altering it. Remember, we're trying to come up with teaching messages that are a little shorter and more concise, because those are going to have a greater impact. Then I tried beauty is only skin deep. You're beautiful in your own skin, and we are all beautiful. The image, I wrote about the image I'm looking for. I'm looking for an image of women of different sizes, races, ages, etc. to support my teaching message. And then I found an image at dovebeauty.com. It's actually an image from first semester that a student used, and that's the image. So that's where I wrote the source. If it was your own photograph or something like that, you would say, I took this photograph myself. Next, thumbnail sketches. Remember, you have to have a total of 4. And the thumbnail sketches I told you are just a quick version of what your final will look like. For instance, this time I would hold my paper vertically, and maybe I would have the image at the top. This is just an outline of the photograph. Notice I'm not putting any detail about what my photograph is. I'm just showing the placement. And then the words I'm going to write them right down here at the bottom. Okay, again, not writing the actual words, just a mock-up of what the final will look like. Remember, it's going to be the map of my final piece of art. Okay, next one. Maybe I would print the image to be bigger. Again, still thinking of the same image with the multiple women, but I would print the image bigger so it would fill the space, and maybe this time I would write the words right across my image. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You're just changing placement and how you would do things. Okay, it's not like one image for this and one teaching message for this and then a whole new one for that. It's the same information organized in different manners. For full credit on the rubric, you have to have 4 complete thumbnail sketches. Even if the first one you do, you're sure that's what you're gonna do. The reason we do multiple is so you really access your brain and get as creative as possible. All right, next page. Choosing a font. Again, art vocabulary. The word font is art vocabulary. Make sure you use it. Same with thumbnail sketches. That was vocabulary. So I was going to use this one. That's the one I started on the previous page for my teaching message. You're beautiful in your own skin. And I feel that the word beautiful is the most important. So I might choose a different font for that, or do it in a different size or a different color. That's why I circled it. I drew my guidelines using a ruler. Notice the top line's straight. The bottom line's almost straight. I had to straighten it because my ruler moved. And then the center is the dotted line for the guidelines. When I'm looking at the font book or a font I find online, I'm going to keep in mind where everything is falling. A lot of times with a font, the center line is where the middle of a letter will fall. For instance, a B, and I'm not doing an actual font here, I'm just going to do a sketch. A B, the middle part would fall right in the middle. The top of the lowercase would fall right in the middle. Okay? When you figure out what font it is, put the font name. Okay? Make sure you include the font name and where you got it. That would be the resource. So the resource could be the font book. The resource could be Word. It could be Photoshop. It could be another website. Whatever it is, write it there. Always include as much information as possible. Partially so we can show them that you're really trying different things, and partially so if you ever need to find it, you can go back and find it easily. Here I just put that I wanted to incorporate some other drawings, and I was going to find clip art of women. Okay? The final piece that a student actually did first semester is this one. You're beautiful in your own skin. There's the image in the center. And when I go to grade this, I would look back on your thumbnails, and I would want to make sure that one of your thumbnails exactly matched this layout. Notice it's at an angle, so one of the thumbnails should look like this. Image in the center, words here, and then some clip art. Okay, so notice that that thumbnail corresponds with that final. Okay, so these are some of the things at this point that you should have in your process journal.